Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Deborah O'Brien, and my guest today is Casey Kerr. She's the founder of Find Your Roar. And Casey, welcome to the show.
Hey, Deb, I'm so excited to be here. This is so much fun.
So can you give us a little roar?
I would love to. Roar!
I love it.
My son is going to be 4 in a couple of weeks, and he does it so great. I have to do a little video of him doing it.
Yeah. Wow. So how did you come up with that name?
It's funny, when I first got into coaching, I had come out of HR and recruiting, and I thought that I could be a career coach because I was realizing that I was putting people in jobs, and all the things that they were talking about in their jobs were not really the problem. They were still I felt like they were changing jobs, but still bringing the problem with them. And I thought, I need to help people find their purpose. That's what I should be doing. So I'm going to go into career coaching. So Find Your Roar was a class that I designed around that whole idea of sort of tapping in to the deepest part of you to understand what you really want. And I was coming home from a Reiki session, and it was the Saturday before New Year's, between 2007 and 2008. And all of a sudden it hit me like a ton of bricks. This isn't a class. This is it. This is it. And I called my husband and I was like, can you find out if that URL is available? Like, that's my new company name. And so
that is fabulous. Oh, it just the words, it gives you that little thrill when you say it. And I'm sure your clients love it too.
It does. And you know what's so funny is that people ask me all the time, what is your roar? What does that mean? And I feel like the answer has changed and evolved with me. Do you know?
Right.
Like, initially it was just about finding your purpose and what that does for your life and what that does for you. And now, it's so much richer than that. It's really so much about learning how to be, the very soul of you that has all the potential that you dream of and that is possible for you. It's like bringing that to life and finding it, and because I'm living it in the moment, doing that for myself, it feels even better, even more. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yes, yes. You know what I find is so amazing is that you're able to do that, and it takes so much time and energy to put that time into yourself, and it's so important that you do. But being a mother of a 4-year-old, and that is like, how do you do it? How do you balance it all?
It's so funny that you asked that, because when we adopted my son when he was 17 months old, so I was 46 at the time, and my husband was 48, and we had no experience with kids. So, and this guy wasn't, sleeping and sitting in a cradle. He was fully freaking mobile. He was like a shark. He never stopped. And so for us old folks, it was really, really hard, to like learn how to be on top of him and keep him safe, and also like deal with all the emotions that come out of it that you don't expect. Like, he makes me a better person. He's the best teacher that I've ever had. And I didn't expect that. I didn't know that was going to happen. And I've spent so much time working on my own purpose and building my business and building myself that I thought I was ready for him. And so he came, and I wasn't at all ready for him. But I've learned, I should say, and I've learned so much about how life works, and about myself, and about and about him and about raising another human being and teaching them how to get on in life. And I'll be honest with you, in the beginning, my business, because it's so much more than my business, it's like my heart, my soul, my everything, that took precedence over everything, over my husband, over my son. And I thought that's how it was supposed to be. And I've learned through JoJo that that's not how it's supposed to be, that's how you create, or at least nurture and sort of amplify these fear tendencies that you have. As soon as I realized that he was the most important thing and Johnny was the most important thing, and that all of that was more than anything else, that helped me to sort of let go and to trust and to just put myself in a position where I was actually able to enjoy life as opposed to chasing the fun. You know what I mean? Chasing the purpose, chasing the dream. I wasn't chasing anymore. And that's a really cool thing.
It's wonderful. It's really great, and isn't it, I think he's, what's your little boy's name?
He's JoJo. If you ask
JoJo.
him.
Yeah. What a gift. What a gift.
I called him Joseph yesterday in the grocery store because he wasn't paying attention to me when I said, "Come on, right by my side. You're out of the carriage. I trust you. You're right by my side." So he's teaching me to trust. But I said, "Joseph." And he said, "My name isn't Joseph." And he giggled and he said, "I'm JoJo."
Oh my gosh. Isn't that, I think kids today are so much smarter than they used to be.
I love that he said that, because it's like he knows who he is.
Right.
His identity. And he's claiming it.
And he's 4.
Yes. Right?
That's fabulous.
It is.
Yeah. So, I think he's been probably one of your best teachers, and seeing how to handle everything.
I'll tell you, he has, because one of the things that I teach my students and that I talk about all the time is about being versus doing. And I really realized recently through him that I feel like I was a little bit vague about what being actually meant. And what I realized that it means watching your life, being present in each moment, taking especially the crappy, hard, like, you want to kill yourself moments of life, and looking at the lessons in them, and then applying those lessons in other situations, moment to moment, to grow and develop. And I realized that's what right? Just a little light thought. But so I realized that, and the thing is that he taught me that. Taught me that. Because if you're not present with a 4-year-old, they know it.
They know it.
You want it. Their behavior calls you on it, and it forces you to get out of your head and into your body in that moment. Yeah. And when you're there and you're really experiencing everything and you're accepting it, that's how you can see the big stuff. You can see the stuff that you can use to work from and change your whole life. If you're in your head, you can't see that. That's
right.
You know what I mean? You miss it.
You miss the whole thing.
You do.
So today, now you can see so clearly, and you have that vision. What is your vision?
So my vision happens in a couple different phases, right? So phase 1, where I am now, is building my tribe. It's I have a calling. I have always known that I had a calling to do something, to be more, that I felt like I was special, like I was different. I felt left out a lot, right? I have a lot of qualities that a lot of people like you and me have, where we struggle with things. We struggle with being so passionate and being frustrated, and that makes us have addictive personalities a lot, right? It makes us very intense. It makes us overcomplicators. It makes us kind of fussy. But really it's because we have so much energy and so much to give and such deep feeling. And when we don't know what we're pointing that toward, it kind of shoots all over the place like a cannon that nobody's manning, right?
Right.
And so for me, this phase 1 is about helping other people who feel that way to recognize and let them know that I know how to fix that. I know how to change your thought patterns and your behavior patterns, and I know how to point out what stuff is distracting you that way and hurting you and getting in your way. And it's not going to work for everybody, but there's going to be a whole bunch of people for whom it does work and it does resonate. And so my job has been learning how to peel back all of my own fears and all of the layers of, just life stuff that has fooled me into the fears that I have. And so learning to peel those back for myself makes me more able to stand up and stand tall and say, I can help you. Be a beacon and say, hey, if you feel like I felt, I can help you, because we have a really important job right now. The world needs us more than ever. It needs coaches and artists and writers and teachers and healers and messengers and mediators and warriors and storytellers and visionaries and missionaries. It needs all of us, right? But when we're afraid to kind of live our own lives, and we're afraid of the judgment and the potential for failure and, the risk of rejection and the lack, my God, the lack, right? We're not enough, we never have enough. We deal with all of that. So to help people like me and like you to work through that stuff that holds them back, that's phase 1, to let them know, I'm here. I am here. I'm here for you. If you need to know how to do this, this is where you can find out.
Right.
And then it's helping them to get through that so that they can go out and be the healers and teachers and messengers and mediators and storytellers and spread the word to the people who are waiting for them. And then phase 2 for me is getting this in the schools, because there are so many people who are afflicted by this negative programming that I am nurturing my way out of, and that you are nurturing your way out of, and that so many people are dealing with. That's what's holding us back. And so parents have kids, teachers teach children, doctors work with patients. There's like all of these spheres of influence who are unwittingly and unintentionally nurturing this negative programming in people, and it's causing huge problems. It causes depression. It causes, addiction. It causes violence. It causes bullies to behave the way that they do. It's really at the root of all the evil that we experience in the world through everyday people. Yeah. And so my phase 2 is get this into the schools, because even if you're teaching a child who doesn't have a really high IQ, and especially who doesn't have supportive, positive messages coming through from their parents for whatever reason, as long as you're teaching them how to believe in themselves and how to navigate their way through life, and helping them understand what's going to really make them strong and whole and safe and secure, then it doesn't matter what grades they get or what schools they go to. They will always be successful. And we don't have that right now. And so that's phase 2.
That is wonderful.
Right?
Take that into the school system, that would be great.
Can you imagine what difference that would make for children who don't have positive reinforcement at home?
And so many children today don't, and I think that's why we're having such a problem with the opiates. It's that emptiness inside,
Yes.
you know.
That's why I named my new program Fulfilled for that very reason. How that's so funny because you didn't know that. But I say that all the time, that the reason that so many of us have addictive behaviors where we want to self-medicate, or we eat too much, or we distract ourselves through, shopping or sports or games or whatever, it's because you have an emptiness in you, something is not being fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like that happens across different parts of your life. For me, it was with regard to my relationship with money. I was financially unfulfilled. I was professionally unfulfilled because I wasn't reaching the amount of people that I wanted to, and that I felt like needed to hear what I had to say and what I had to share. And so I felt that way on so many different levels. And recently, even as a mother, I felt kind of parentally unfulfilled. And most of it was that I wasn't giving myself enough credit for what I was doing.
Right.
But that helped me to see it. Do you know?
Yes.
So,
yeah, that's wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah. No, because when you can fill yourself up with your own love and respect, then you are fulfilled, and whatever you do, it's going to be fine.
Yeah,
it's all in the plan.
That is it. That is it. And we look for it from so many other people and so many other sources.
Right. But it's right inside.
Yeah,
it is. And we all have it.
Mm-hmm.
We just have to find it. And I think that'd be so great to teach this in the school system before it, becomes a problem.
It is a problem.
Yeah. Well, before it gets worse, and so that will be a challenge to get it into the school system, I'm sure.
It is, and that's why phase one is working with all of the people that I mentioned: the healers, the teachers, the mediators, the storytellers, the visionaries, the messengers. Because as they get out there and they start talking about it more and more, as we're talking about it as a society, that's why I'm so excited to have the show that I have and to be on your show tonight, because every one person that hears about this tells it to 2 or 3 or 5 or 10 other people. And when it resonates deeply with people and they feel like, oh my God, there's hope, they share it, right? And so the more this talk is out there, I know that I've always envisioned myself working with celebrities, especially celebrities like so many of those stars who've burned bright and their lives have been cut short by their own hand or by their own addictions, because they were so insecure and yet so successful. They didn't feel like they deserved it. And to reach that pinnacle of success through their art, through expressing their pain, they still didn't heal themselves and work through the pain. And so they felt really like they didn't deserve the success that they had. So for a really long time, I felt like I'm supposed to work with celebrities who feel like that. And I'm pretty sure that the reason is because that would give me a platform where I'll have access to so many other people, because entertainers have so much influence and exposure, and they're storytellers, right?
Right.
They're here to sort of act out and express through music and theater and movies. They're here to express all of the feelings and emotions and experiences that all the regular people have, so that we all know we're not alone. This is normal, right? So what better group of people to have an opportunity to work with to spread the word through popular culture. And so I feel like that's what I want. You're hearing my intention. So spread my intention.
Right out there. I love it.
Right? And look at how much we're lifting it now.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that, Casey. That's great. That takes courage, but doesn't it feel great when you just say it and put it out there?
It does.
So good.
It really, oh my God, my heart just got so light when you said that, Deb, because it does take courage. And I think for people like you and me, our passion and our purpose is so big, right? Your why is so huge that when you're not feeling your best, doesn't it sometimes weigh you down and like make it feel like the cross that Jesus had to bear sometimes? Because you want it so badly, and you being a spiritual being, we know what our capabilities are, and that there's so much more than we're exhibiting in any one moment for most moments of our lives. And so it does take courage, and that's what made it so hard for me, and so hard maybe for you in the beginning, and so hard for so many other people, to really stand up and stand proud and clear and actually have the clarity of like, who are my people and what the hell am I supposed to do for them? Like, I know that I'm here to help them. I know that I have so much to give, but how do I communicate that?
Yeah.
How do I say that in a way that's really clear to them if it's not clear to me? And what I learned over the last couple of years is that as you build yourself up from the inside out, and as you learn to take control of your fears and to master them, that creates the clarity, because that channel that you have, what I call your divine channel, is opened when that kind of dust and smoke and clutter and crap clears, right? So yeah, it's how you get the information that you need. It's how you get the calm, and how you get the direction and the guidance and the strength and the inspiration.
Yeah. Beautiful. You know, we're just about out of time, but before we close for the night, I was wondering if you could just share with us what you think is probably what you're most proud of so far in your life. What would that be?
You know, I watched the Patriots in the Super Bowl last night, and I'm a huge Patriots fan. And I feel like what I'm most proud of is what I believe led that team to victory last night, is their belief in themselves as individuals and as a team. And I am most proud of that in myself, because it's been the hardest come by for me. I've worked so hard to overcome my fears, my like where I think I'm lacking, where I think I'm not good enough, to be able to see through that, and to be able to look at every single challenge and every lesson in my life, fights with my husband, tantrums with my son, wrinkles in my business, deep disappointments in my business, to look at all of those and really just see the lesson and write it down and break it down so that I understand it, and it's repeatable, and I can learn from it and teach other people that.
Oh, that's so great.
And when you can do that in the moments where it's really the hardest, and you're the most challenged, boy, that's fucking living.
That is.
I swear on my show, you don't swear on yours. I'm sorry.
Well, I thank you so much. That was wonderful, wonderful advice for anyone. And, I hope people listen to this program over and over again, because every time they listen to your words, they're going to hear something more. Thank you so much, Casey. You were wonderful.
Oh, Deb, thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You have a great night.
You too.
I'm your little boy for me.
I will. Thank you.
Bye.
Roar.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you all for listening tonight. I hope you all have a great night. Bye-bye.